everyone, and welcome. I'm Marcie, Besecker, an independent demonstrator with Stampin' Up, and I'm from Clovis, California. I know I muted that. Don't ask me why it does that. If I start going to do something and come back, sometimes it just happens. I apologize for that. And I'm from Clovis, California, and it is Sunday. I hope you fell back, and it is time to change our clocks here in most of the U.S., and we had to fall back. So earlier today, I was rushing around thinking, oh my gosh, I only have like 2 hours left. My desk was a mess. I was getting a different class ready to go. And then I realized, oh, I have more time than I thought. So yay. So I was playing with a fancy fold and trying to figure out measurements and stuff. So anyway, I was having fun. Hi, everybody. Hello, hello, Anna. It is fall, pumpkin spice, and everything nice. I agree. I love it this season. Oh, let's see. Hi. Let's see. Carol. Hi. Carrie. I have to cheat and look at my list. Pat, sorry, you guys, when you put your cute little names up there, sometimes I go, oh, wait, I know who that is. Hi, Carrie, Helen, Marvis, Sarah, Noreen, welcome. Hi, Stacy, Connie, Anita, Lisa, Paula, welcome everybody. So I have a really fun fall card today for you. I have been really wanting to play again with the More Than Autumn set. I love this set. As you guys know, I used it quite a bit last year. So we're going to create this card today. I love this paper, and I was trying to think of something to do with that. And then when I thought, oh, I want to pull this More Than Autumn back out again and play with it, I thought, oh, that pumpkin paper. So really cute. I love the look of it, and it's so fall, and it just reminds me of going to the pumpkin patch and having my PSL. We've got to have our pumpkin spice latte, right? Hello, hello, Judith. Forget about the time change until I realized I was in the kitchen prepping dinner at 3:15, right? Hi, Deborah. Hi, Kelly. Yeah, that's how I was. Hi, Anita. That's how I was. I was just trying to get, everything ready. And then I was like, oh man, my husband just came in and changed the clock, and I was going to do it, but he was out of the house earlier, and I don't like to get up on the step stool, and it's pretty darn high above my big cutter. And I was like, I'll just keep looking at the computer clock. And well, I kind of forgot to until I realized, man, it's still light outside, and I thought it was later than it was. And anyway, so let's jump into it. The join special is gone, but you can always still join my team. So don't forget, we do have join specials once in a while, but it's still such a great deal to join at $99, and you still get $125 in product. And if you join now, you still have 6 months to meet your quota for your first official quarter, and become a demonstrator and get to pre-order and all that good stuff and get your discount, of course. That's the biggest thing. So that is always going on. So don't think, oh, the special's over, I can't join. Absolutely, you can. All right, so the November bingo is the 19th. I'm super excited. I leave town this Sunday to go to the Leaders Convention, which is called Backstage. And I will be coming back home, I believe it's the 13th or 14th. And then bingo is that very next week. So please don't forget to join bingo. It is going to be a lot of fun. We have a lot of holiday cards. It's going to be some really fun projects. And somebody had asked me about the projects that we'll be using. We're going to be using the Ornamental Christmas. I got to stand up and look. We will be using some of the Traditions of Christmas. Okay, I'm going to go sneak over there real quick so I can tell you, because I know you guys asked. We're going to be using a snowflake set. 1, 2, 3, 4. One of them we're going to kind of be using some different things, but it will also have a little bit of the Traditions of Christmas paper, but It's not necessarily super Christmassy. You can change it out to be something else. And then, of course, there's the 3D project that I showed you, which I'll show you again. We're going to be doing a Kleenex box, and it's the one with has the bottom on it. So we're going to also be doing a Kleenex box. So that's also a great gift or a great way to share for Christmas. If you choose not to do it for Christmas, you can put different paper on there and make it something else. But you'll get everything to create a Christmas themed Kleenex box. All right, so that we also have my Traditions of Christmas. This is a PDF video link class only. Once you pay for the class, you'll get a receipt that will have your PDF and your video link already attached. Okay, so that has already been done. It will be attached to your receipt when you pay for it. Okay. The kits, there are no kits for this class. It is just a PDF and video link. That way, if you already have the product, you can start creating it. Don't forget, you can always use different product. These are all fancy folds. So you can always substitute other paper and product to create these cards. Also, the gems, I believe, on this suite are out until the 24th. So that's why it says the suite was extended to November 24th, because the gems are out until the 24th. The paper will be in on the 17th of November. The bundles are available. Now, if you want to break it up and get your bundles now, because they're available, and that's where you save the discount, is that 10% for your bundles. So if I were you, I would order your bundles now. Get your 2 bundles now. You could get your ribbon and your embossing folder now. Okay. And then your paper order on the 17th when it comes in, and then the gems on the 24th. If you wait until the 17th, we don't know if those bundles will still be available. So don't think, oh, I'm going to get the suite because I'm going to get a discount if I order the suite. You're going to get a discount on your bundles. Okay, so the 2 stamp sets. So let's look back again. Your 2 stamp sets here, which are Traditions of Christmas. And I believe the other one is something labels. And I don't have it in front of me, but I just wanted to let you know. Look that up. Get those bundles, and those are the ones. I'm looking decorative, traditional labels. I think it says. Oh, I can't even see. Christmas greenery and traditional labels, I believe, is what the 2 bundles are called. So those are the ones that I would get now, because that way, if you want to get the suite, get the bundles now. Get the ribbon and the embossing folder now, the gems and the paper, the 17th and the 24th. That's my suggestion for you if you want to get that suite, which I highly recommend. All right, so there's that one. Elegant Pines Suite. That's the one I have with the banner. I still have about 4 of those kits left. So if you're interested in it, I still have those available. It's a beautiful banner. But you also get 4 fancy fold cards with this. Okay. And the new one is the Cake Day birthday card. That's the one I'm playing with right now. My gosh, it's going to be so much fun to play with. This one, I've changed it a little bit, put a $75 order in with me, and register for the class, and you can get the class for free. Okay, so if you want this class, though, you should get the Cake Day bundle. If you already have it, you can put any $75 order in with me. Remember, that's before tax and shipping. And that is after any Stampin' rewards or credits that you may use. Okay, so keep that in mind. Paper Pumpkin, you have until the 10th. If you want the wrapped in cheer paper pumpkin, look at it. It looks like little miniature paper pumpkin boxes with some banners, some tags. There's a stamp set, some embellishments, and it looks really super cute. It says it's perfect for gift cards or small treats. So I think that is some really cute gift wrapping packaging that's available. Oh, trying to stay a week on the East Coast. I know, Megan, this time change is rough, isn't it? We did fall back, but it's really an hour later for us still. It's difficult. Although I woke up really early this morning. Oh, that does make sense. It was like 4 and it was really 5. And I was like, why am I up? I usually don't get up until 5. And then I was like, oh, I don't wake up. I don't get up. I just wake up at 5 and then I roll over and go back to sleep. Oh, let's see. All right. So I think that's about it for announcements. I mean, there's so many more things, but we're just going to jump on. I'm looking really quick to see if there's anything else that, I must share. Flat rate boxes. I just sent out, I have 2 more ready to go right now that's getting ready to ship out tomorrow. And then I have more. I've been cutting more paper and getting more stamp sets. I had a whole nother thing of stuff. Some of them are on last chance. They're going in boxes. I don't need stuff that's leaving unless I'm attached to it, then I'm keeping it. So, you know how that goes. We changed time last week, but our pets are still confused. Oh, yeah, I bet. Hey, Nancy. Welcome, welcome. All right, so let's jump in and get started with this card. It's so fun. Like I said, I had so much fun creating this card. And so we are going to jump in and get started. All right, so we have some of the card base here and ready to go. I'm just going to set everything aside. I had a bunch of corrugated paper already embossed and set aside. And I told you guys, if I have stuff that I have set aside, I will try and use it up. So I have the corrugated. Of course, I keep my embossing folders anyway. And so I decided, you know what? We're going to use it because number one, you probably have the corrugated embossing folder. And the color was perfect. Everything was perfect about it. So I thought, well, we're going to use it. All right. So I have the 3/4 by 4-inch piece here to go on the inside of our card. Let's put that in. My doctor gave me some different contacts. I told you guys I was going to the eye doctor last week. And last year I told her, you know what, my vision up close is I have been wearing my readers here, which I'm going to put back on again, more than I ever have before. And so last year she told me, well, if we up your readers on your glasses, your distance is not going to be quite as good. And I said, okay. So I talked to her about it again this year. And she said, you know what? Let's order you a trial pair. And let's see what that does. See if it does affect you like she thought it was going to. So I just got them yesterday. So I'm trying to give them a chance. Oh, this is weird. I just used this and it's really hard to get out. I'm going to use my other one. So I just got them yesterday. So I'm trying to give them a chance because they're really not that big of a difference. It's kind of, I'm kind of more comfortable in my other ones, seeing everything, but I'm thinking maybe I just need to give them a little bit of a chance. So I'm going to try and give them through part of tomorrow because I want to get my contacts ordered, but they want to, check these first and see how I like them. I don't really notice that big of a difference. I still need my glasses. It seems like I can see here really well, but not here. And this is kind of where I need to be, seeing a little clearer. So we'll see. I am fine. As long as I can wear contacts, I am okay with whatever prescription I get. As long as I can see. If I have to wear readers, I'm fine with that. If you guys knew how blind I was, you would know. I am perfectly fine wearing readers if I have to. As long as I can. So we'll see. I went to my grandson's football game yesterday. It was their last seasonal game. Uh-oh, why is this paper so weird? Different size. Too long. We went to it was the last seasonal game. So, All-Stars, not All-Stars. Did I go smaller on this one? Now I'm like, wait a minute. I did. See how much green I'm seeing? Okay, so I did do that. But I didn't on the front. Let's see what I did here. 4, it's got to be by 5 1/4, so that's what I did. Oh, I'll show you another boo-boo I did too. You guys will love it. But it was a quick change, a quick fix. So these are 5 1/4, not by 5 3/8 is what I decided to do. Why is because of the DSP. I already had some cut to the size. What did I do with it? Oh, here it is. So I decided, we'll just go with the smaller size, and I was fine with that. But wait until I show you my mistake and how I fixed it. So I was stamping the back of my cards, right? I had them all flat, and I was like, oh, I'm just going to stamp them really fast. So I stamped them all. And then when I went to go fold them, I was like, oh, this needs to go on the back. Oh, that's not going to work. So I'm like, well, no one's going to see it on the front except all of you. So when you get your card, for those of you that are getting a card, these are my October thank you cards for shopping with me. And so, yeah, you're going to have a hidden secret message. Oh, now let's put this on the inside. That would be helpful. Right about there. Yeah, so there's a hidden message right there. So we'll do the front now. I just love this set. I'm wanting it to stay around another year just because there's so many ideas I have with it. And I just haven't had a chance because there's so many other fun things to play with. I got to play with them all. Right, so now, of course, this one is 4 by 5 1/4 for the Cajun Craze is the color I used. The DSP is 3 7/8 by 5 1/8. All right, so there's that. Now what I should have done first is these, because this is just the size I had. So we are just going to glue that on there, and then I need to cut it, which we're going to do something different because I goofed. We are going to do side to side. So on here, I did side to side on the DSP, but because I've already done this, we're going to put this up to here, and that is the exact size. So now what we're going to do is we are going to go here, and see how I'm leaving that Cajun Craze right there? So I'm going to leave that there and a little bit over here too. So what I need to do is figure out that this is 4 inches. I need this to be 3 7/8. So I can give myself that 1/8 of an inch. Okay, so now this is how you fix your goofs when you do that. So see, now I can leave my Cajun Craze border. And now when I come across, it just aligns with the back border. Okay. I gave up my contacts 15 years ago. I do miss them. Oh, I could not do that because I am my prescription is extremely strong. So when I wear my glasses, it is not good. I can't drive with them. I can barely walk with them. And my doctor even said, honey, glasses are not your friend. Because I told him, is it just because I'm not used to wearing them? Because I had an eye infection once and I had to go to the store. And I thought, and this was a long time ago, I thought, oh, I can make it. I could go to the store. I'll just wear my glasses. The store's just down the street. No problem. I got to the corner and I, did the turn left and right, looked left and right to get ready to cross traffic and make that left. And I felt like I was drunk. Like I was literally, see, I squished this too soon. I literally my head was kind of spinning like, oh, I can't not see. So that wasn't a good idea. I learned then, do not drive with my glasses. And so when I asked the doctor, is it just because I'm not used to wearing my glasses? And he said, oh, no, honey. You don't want to wear them. I go, okay. All right, so now I'm just going to put this about, now this piece right again is 4, and it is 1.5 for the crumb cake and 1 3/8 for the Cajun Craze piece. So I just do it about 1/8 of an inch different. And then I just kind of put it wherever you think. I'm just going to go with that bold line right there. When you do put your piece on, you want to make sure that you have enough space. Like our coffee, notice it's kind of tall with the straws and stuff. So you want to make sure that you have enough space. Now, another thing you could do, because this does look a little busy, you could take a light piece of paper, but I really wanted to see the DSP. But you could put like vellum or, you know, like a beige piece of paper or something that, you know, and maybe emboss that so that this kind of pops out a little more. But I wanted to see the paper. So it just all depends on what the look is that you're wanting to go for. All right. Glue everywhere. Okay, so now we're going to do, let's go ahead and add this onto our card front because we are just going to apply things to go on top. We don't have to worry about tying a ribbon around or anything like that. We're going to add a ribbon, but not, see, now we're going to hide up our, this secret message. Oh, but you know what? I feel like that is like slightly over. Just enough to bother me, but the recipient probably wouldn't even see it, but better. Okay. Nope. There we go. Okay. All right. Now, so we'll set that aside. And now we're going to do some coloring. All right, I used black because I did want everything to kind of be a nice, strong image, especially with the DSP in the background being so busy. And so I decided to use the black, and we're going to do all our stamping first. So we're going to do our coffee mug, and we're going to do our donut. And make sure when you're doing this, you want to make sure that everything is spaced far enough apart to where you can use your dies. All right, we're going to do our pumpkin. We have our cinnamon stick and our straw. All right. Now I used crumb cake for the frosting, the whipped cream on top. So I did use the crumb cake. All right, now while you're right here, let's go ahead. We're going to bring in our sprinkles. And then we're going to also bring in, which I don't think I have right here, so I'm just going to cut a little piece of the beige DSP. All right, so we have a little piece of beige DSP. Let's go ahead and do our sprinkles while we're right here. And I used pumpkin pie and Cajun Craze. All right, so I just took our little sprinkle. See how it has a point right here? I'm going to take that And I'm going to do the pumpkin pie up high. And right up inside that little spot there so that you can see it really well. And now I'm going to do Cajun Craze. And I'm going to turn this a little bit and kind of just go right next to that one so that you can see your sprinkles are, oh, that's really bright. You can't even see the colors. The sprinkles are like offset with each other. Now, if you wanted to add more, you could. I would add I mean, your die is going to go there, but you don't want your piece down here. So if you wanted to, you could grab like a tiny Post-it. We'll do it on this one. You could grab a tiny Post-it, and I would go up over that edge right there. And I'm going to do another Cajun Craze, and I'm just going to do just a little bit like right there. Okay, so now you can tell that they kind of go down a little bit farther. All right, okay. All right, so that's that stamping. Let's bring in the rest of our stamping real quick. We're going to do our, make sure I have everything here. We're going to do our words. Grateful, it's finally, and we're going to do that in Mossy Meadow. I'm taking that color off of the green on the DSP. And let's see, that is not enough. We're going to do it this way. And I usually like to kind of make sure it stamps nice. So I'm going to put it right up close along the edge of this paper, because then I just have to cut this way and this way. So it's on there pretty well. And we're going to do fall. And for the fall, we're going to emboss. So let's bring in our Versamark. Oh, let me powder that up real quick. All right, so I put some, I should have just done it on screen. So I took some of my embossing buddy, and you take it and you put it on there like that, and you stamp it on so that you can, nothing sticks on it except this where the sticky Versamark is. So we're going to take our fall and get it nice and sticky here with our Versamark ink pad. And I'm going to go right in that corner. All right. And now I'm taking the bronze metallic is what we're using. Okay. So there's our bronze metallic. And see how the embossing powder only stuck where I had the sticky embossing. And I like to go from the bottom just because I think sometimes the embossing powder isn't sticking, you know, and there might be like extra laying on top. And this way it doesn't get blown off. It just stays where I want it until I emboss it. And see, now you've got that shiny fall on there. So that's done. All right, we'll set this aside. All right, so that is done. We'll get that cut. And we're going to do some coloring. Okay, so for the donut, what I did, and I have my little list here. So I have a bunch of colors of blends that I use. These are all the ones I use. So I'm going to do the light. I think I'm using the dark Cajun Craze. So what I do is I just kind of come over and kind of test it. And then I'm going to try the light one. And if I can find it. It's right here. Light. Okay, I did the light. It's a little more brown to me, whereas The one on the left is a little more orangey. So it just depends on what you want. I actually am going to do the dark Cajun craze, and I'm going to do my cinnamon stick. And I'll bring the camera closer in just a second. Okay, so I'm just going to do my cinnamon stick. All right. And then for my straw, I decided I'm just going to take the dark orange. It's the dark pumpkin pie. And then I'm going to do just every other one. I always do the top one in the color. So I'm going to do the top one, the third one, and the fifth one. Okay, so there is your straw. I'm leaving the rest white. And then we're going to take our pumpkin. I'm going to use the dark, and I'm just going to go on the lines. And if they go like that filled in right there, that's okay. And then I'm going to take this is the light. Oh, I used the pumpkin. Hold on one second for my other project. And then I'm going to take the light pumpkin pie and just kind of blend it in with those lines. It just gives it a little bit of a different texture right there. And then you can always come back in and go over to give it that little dark shade if you want it to look a little darker. So I did want to give it that look. Okay. So we're going to do that. Now I'm going to do the light peach pie is what I'm going to use for my donut. So we're going to do the light peach pie. Oops, I want the brush. And we're going to, oh, this one does not look good. So I think I did the pumpkin pie. Light pumpkin pie for the donut. I did a lot of these yesterday, so we want to do our donut. We want it to be like a pumpkin flavored donut. My tip is getting a little bad. Now, I don't know if you guys do this, but I do. I want these to last as long as I can, so I cut these tips because they start whitening up, you know, like you're losing your color on the tips, but it still has color towards the base. And then, of course, wipe these off right away because it will stain your scissors, but alcohol will take it off. All right, so I go down and so that I can use my tip again. And you're going to toss them anyway. They start getting, you know, the ink goes away in them. I'm going to use all the ink until I can, so that's what I do. All right, so you've got your top of your donut. Now you're going to take your light pumpkin pie, pecan pie. Light pecan pie. I use that also on another project. And I'm going to do my donut. I want it to look kind of like a spice cake. So I did light pecan pie. All right, there's that. Now we are going to take our Cajun craze, and I took the dark Cajun craze. That's light. Where is my dark? Maybe I don't have it. Oh, here it is right here. And then I just went over my sprinkles. And I just went over just like 2 little lines. It just thickens it up just a tad so you can see a little bit of a Cajun craze color on there. Okay, so now you have your sprinkles on your cake, your donut. All right, now let's do our coffee. So the first thing I did is I took the 500. Let me get my numbers here. All right, so I did 500, 600. I put these in order, so it helped me. 200, 400. Okay. And then light crumb cake. What did I just do with that color? Let me grab that. I don't think I really used it that much, but I had it out in case I needed it. All right, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to start first with my light one, which is 500. Okay, so this is the one that's in the what do you call them? It's like medium to light, the neutral type colors and they come in a group. So you have the light, the medium, and the darks. And so I started with this number 500, and I did the right side mainly because it is the lightest, and I just did the whole cup. So I just did the right side, and this is the coffee part of it, okay? Not the banner. All right, so I did quite a bit of it, not the whole thing. And then I'm going to put that over here to the right because I am going to use that one. Or no, I don't use that one again. I'm going to use 600 next. This is the one I'm going to use a little bit. And I'm going to do this one all over. It has much more of a reddish tint to it. Okay, so it kind of looks a little more like a pumpkin latte. It's got that little bit of a red tint. And we're going to come from the right side. Notice I'm not going in the middle. You don't have to do the whole thing. But I am going to come from the bottom and do that. Okay, so we have a little bit more of the red on that side. All right, so we're going to keep that one aside because we're going to use it again. The 200 is a lot darker. So the 200, we're going to start over and just kind of fan it out a little bit. Okay, and then I'm going to turn this and do this way. Okay, so just give it a little bit of a dark. Now I do like to go underneath the rim of the hand, the holder thing, or whatever you want to call that. All right, so we're going to put that over there, 200, and now 400. Oh, you know what? I did do a little bit over here too. Just a little bit, like way less. Okay, just a little. You want to get that light shade on there. Okay, now we're going to go with the 400, and we're going to go on the left side because we're going to try to blend a little bit, okay? Because this is a little bit of a darker color also, but lighter than that 200. And we're just going to blend that in. All right, blend, blend, blend. And I'm going to go across the bottom, and then I'm going to just blend a little on the right side. Okay, so you see where we still have that light look to it. And now we're going to blend, blend, blend a little over here. And I'm going to go a little across the top. All right, so we have that. Now we're going to go back with our 600. Now remember, the 600 is really light. This is where I was deciding, do I use the crumb cake to lighten it up? If you feel like it's gotten too dark, then you can go with like a crumb cake or something and you can lighten that up. I'm going to come back in with 600 because it's got more of that reddish kind of tint. Okay, so this is what it looks like. Okay, so now I'm going to blend again, but I'm going to come across a little bit. And if it doesn't go all the way, that's fine. I can see a little tiny light white line across my thing right there. All right, and now I'm going to just come down that way a little bit. Come across a little. We're just kind of blending still those darker colors, but we're adding a little bit of that red in there. Okay, so you've got a little bit of that red, and I want it a little darker right there. Okay, so I think that is good right there. Now, for my banner, I did go with the Cajun Craze. So here's Cajun. I did light, where am I? Light peach pie and dark Cajun. So let's start with our dark Cajun. And again, my dark definitely needs to be trimmed again. So I just do it at an angle so it's a tip, just so I can keep using it. Now, I don't do that unless it is like really hard to use. And then you'll see, I'll clean those in a minute with alcohol. All right, so let's clean this up before they get all over the place. All right, so now we're going to come in and just do our feathering. If you just kind of lift up as you're doing it, it gives that little more brushed look. Okay, and then we'll turn it around. Okay, so there's our dark look. And then let's take our, now here's what our lighter look is. And we're going to brush it in. Okay, so just start it on the sides. And it depends on what you want it to look like. You could also just stamp this piece onto DSP and use some DSP for your banner if that's what you want for your cup holder. All right, so I'm good with that. Let's bring in the light pumpkin pie, and it's just going to kind of give it that little orange, again, look to it. And then I'm going to come back in with the light and give it a little more of a solid look. Okay, and then I'm going to come back in with light again. All right, so there we go. So now it gives you that kind of look where it's got like a little bit of variegation. It gives it a little more interest than just solid colors. Okay, so that's everything. If we cut it all out, this is what we get. Yay, magic. Now, what we're going to do is bring our card in. We are going to do our sentiment here. So what I do is I like to make sure my sentiment is right up, well, on this trimmer. I go right up to the edge of the plastic, and if there's any hanging over, I might cut off just a tiny bit to get a little closer. And then I'm going to bring that off. I just want it really thin. All right. So let's look. Okay, so I can tell right now that it's a little off. So we're going to use scissors. All right, so there's that. I'm going to come back over here. We want it pretty close to the letters because we need to tuck it in and everything. So I'm going to show you what I do with this, but let's cut this one first. While it's still big, I'm going to cut the bottom off because I know for sure that there's space on the bottom and the side that I want to take off. Now, I'm going to do it this way so I can have something to hold on to when I cut it. And then I'm going to go here and cut. All right, so there is our fall. And then this one we're going to cut with some scissors because it's too wide. I want to cut it a little more and it's a little crooked. So I like to use my large ones if I'm going to go right above the words. And like I've told you guys before, I look ahead of where I'm cutting so that you know where your scissors are going to cut. Okay. And then I'm going to cut this one a little bit. I want this one to be pretty close. All right, there's that. All right, so there we go. There's that. All right. And now for our cup, let me bring in this. We're going to add a little bit of glue at the very top. We're going to set down our, and I like those lines because I think it gives it more character. So what I do is I go down a little bit and then I pull it up just past those lines so that I know that the glue is sticking onto where I need it to stick. And then I just lay that on there like that. All right, the next thing I'm going to do is find my pumpkin. What happened to my pumpkin? Oh, he's right here. I have 2 pumpkins. So here's a pumpkin. Let's do our dimensional on the back of him. And he's going to go right onto our copy. How cute he looks. Hi, Sandy. Hi, Crystal. All right, now we want our straw and our cinnamon stick. And our cinnamon stick, this one I did it, and it had, oh, let me clean these real quick. I went way out of the line on my cinnamon color. So see, it comes right off. And this is how I clean my scissors anyway, is with alcohol. But if you get now you want to be careful when you do this because you want to go with, away from the blade. So, all right, there we go. I am going to cut pretty darn close to this cinnamon stick because even though I went out of the lines, I could sit here with my white color lift and fix it, but I'm going to go a little closer. All right, we're just going to go like that. Now we're going to put our cinnamon stick on the left side. So I'm just going to put glue here on the bottom. And then I'm going to lift my cup and I'm going to put that cinnamon stick like right there. Okay, and then I'm going to do the same with the straw. And then I'm going to color that in a minute. That little bit of white that I left. And we're going to take our straw. And I want the straw up higher. And I'm going to pull it down because I want that orange to show right there. Okay. All right, so there we go. Now I'm going to take my my dark Cajun. No, I'm going to take my black because I cut so close to that. I'm going to take my black, and I'm not going to do it on here because it'll stain it. Because it is, I'll just do it on this little piece. And I'm going to go right around the outside and color that line so it doesn't look like I messed up, which I did. There we go. Yay. All right, so that looks good. So we'll set that aside. And we have our donut. All right, so the next thing what I did is we're going to bring our piece in here. And we are going to put our donut is going to go like right here. So think about where you want your cup and where you want your donut. And so what I did is I took a glue dot and I put it right on the edge of that donut, like right here. All right, so we're going to bring in our drink. I want it about right here. And I want the donut, though, to kind of come across the bottom. like right about there. You want to make sure you have some space right here so it, you get the whole effect that it's a donut. And so I'm going to just pull that out a snug, just a tiny bit. All right, so we're going to do that. Now we can put our dimensionals on here. I always like to put a dimensional right where you have them adhered. So we're going to put one there and here. We're going to put one on this other side of our donut. And one in the middle. Again, here I am, a lot of dimensionals. Here I'm going to come up a little bit. So I have a little bit of the cinnamon stick, the whipped cream, and the cup. I'm putting one right here in the middle, which is going to also touch the straw. Then I'm going to take, okay, so here's a doozy for you. I put a bunch of cards together. And so I did use the tape trick, but I accidentally taped right onto the edge of this. So I have to kind of go from the back side because I really kind of goofed. But my little half pieces are on this side. It's an amazing trick to use packing tape if you are going to be doing a whole lot of pieces. This is where I was going to use a cup thing, but I didn't. So, all right, so we're going to use the little half ones, and I'm going to put a half one here on there and a half one here. What is nice is I started putting a bunch of dimensionals on everything. Well, then we have to peel these off, right? And so instead, you take a piece of packaging tape and you lay it on your dimensionals. And then when you peel them off, you want to rub them really well, okay? And then when you peel them off, they peel, the backings are all on your packaging tape. But if you don't use them all, like I used several packages, okay? When those were all gone, I just laid this back on here. But make sure you're putting the correct side down. This side, you will not get to pull it off, okay? Just like this tape here on this side is sticking to the outside of my tape. But the dimensional part is on the dimensional. So I'm just going to go from this way. It'll be easier, okay? So, but usually I was using all of the sheets until I got down to this one. And so I thought, well, I'll just stick that back on there. But that way I don't have to pull all these off. Notice I'm doing it with my left hand because this kills my right hand. So I'm doing it this way instead. All right, so now I'm going to lay this lightly right there because that's about where I want it to go. But now I want to put my dimensionals on the back here. So we're going to take, again, this is really thin. So we're going to take the half dimensionals. Okay, you might be able to put the full ones on there. These are cut. Let's see. They're not cut very well though. Because I didn't put my dimensional this back on correctly, I can't see through it to see if I got it right. So this isn't working as lovely as it does when you don't try to put this back on. Because you can just pick them up and put them on and put them to your project, and you don't have to be messing around with the back side of this tape. All right. Oh, I don't want to put one down there anyway, because this is going to come on here, and I want to make sure, well, first of all, I want to make sure it's straight, and this is a little wonky. Much better. Okay, so this part doesn't have a sticky on it because you're going to put it right up against here. I just want to make sure I see some brown. All right, so we can put that there, and I'm fine now. We'll stick this all down. You just want to make sure you have enough room. Then you're going to take your fall, and I think I'm going to cut this down just a tad. All right, and now we need a large dimensional, and we want this on the L side, not the F side, because we're going to put a little bit of glue on the F side. And we're just going to kind of slant it right here. Okay. Okay, see I have some glue right here. Okay. All right, so there's that. Yay! Now, that'll finish the project tonight. All right, so now what we're going to do is get our ribbon and our twine. And all I did is do my hand bow, and I'm not going to turn it. I'm just going to move my twine next to it, my thread next to it, and I'm just going to tie them together. But now I'm going to move my twine so that it's next to it or on top. Okay. Oops, I just did that twice. Let me do that again. We're going to put this on top now. So I'm just kind of wrapping it around so that it comes on top. It doesn't really matter. I just like to see the thread. Tying bows has also been a struggle with my hand. Notice my bow's getting bigger here while I'm trying to tie it. All right. Come on. There we go. There's a video on how I tie my bows, so you guys can go look at it. All right, and then pull this, and then pull that, and then there we go. Now you have your bow and your thread. We're going to use our glue dots. And you can make it however small or large you want it. It doesn't matter. I kind of wanted these floppy, which is how I started doing it with my hand, is when I want them a little more floppy. And then I'm just going to tuck it right up there. And then I just like to make sure, I'm going to cut these just a little shorter, not much. Just to kind of put that in there. And then we use the Cajun Craze dots. Oh, you do, Carol? Yeah, I need to start doing it more often. I don't do it enough. When I'm doing mass production, it's the best way to do it. I think that was the first time I actually decided to do it that's mass production, and that was just, I was like, man, I don't know why I don't remember to do this more often, because that was really smart. All right, so here we're going to add a large one right here, and then a small one right there, and then I did a medium one over here. I'm noticing I have a little bit of glue right here and right here. There we go. Oh, yeah, I have a ton of mistakes, Susan. So I'm glad you liked for me to show you how to fix them, because, you know, they happen. And that's one of the things that's funny. My husband always says, well, did you fix it before you did it on screen, or how did you do it? And I'm like, oh, no, I just fix it while I'm on screen, because, you know, everybody makes mistakes. And it's much, I like to see how people fix stuff, because that's how you learn. I mean, that's how I learned, like, for example, that I take my scissors and I cut the dimensional while it's still on my project. You know, like if I wanted to cut this off, I do it like this, because then you don't ruin your pieces. You can get them taken off and, you know, fix them, but you don't have to, if you try to pull them off, it'll ruin it. So there you go. So there is the card. It adds a little bit of some bling right there when you add your fall in the metallic. It was a lot of fun. I try to pull in the Mossy Meadow a little bit by stamping that in Mossy Meadow there. And then I did a little bit more beige coming off the back of the card there, even though I did want to do my stamping in white because I think it pops a little bit more. I took your advice and purchased compression gloves. They have helped. Oh, yeah. My brace thing that I wear at night has helped tremendously. My husband's always like, "Well, how's your hand?" Sometimes I have to say it's a little like sometimes you'll like when you take it off and you're taking your shower and then I go to do my hair, I'm thinking, "Man, my hand feels a little stiff." Well, it's because I haven't moved it all night, but that's kind of the point, right? And so, like, yeah, mine is right here. Like if you hit, I've hit this before, whew, through the ceiling. But it's much better. So yeah, I just got the brace. Now I'll try to remember Wednesday to bring it in and show you guys. But it just kind of your thumb goes in and you can tighten the thumb part, and then it goes here and then it wraps around my wrist. I had another one that didn't work so well because it was more like my wrist, like if it were carpal tunnel. But this one was different. They had one left in the store, so it really works a lot. I'm really late tonight. Oh, Glenda, no worries. Yeah, I'm sad about this set. Is it leaving? Oh, I didn't check. I should have looked, but it has been here 2 years, I have to say. But it's a fabulous set, and you get all of these words and dies with cocoa. Let's see, I have it on the back because I have two. Pumpkin hot, so you have hot cocoa, apple, season, spice. So like pumpkin spice season. You could do the words on it. It's got a pumpkin pie, donuts, marshmallows, gingerbread, which is also a really cute stamp set when you think about you've got the candy cane, the gingerbread, the pumpkin, the apple, the heart, the sprinkles, and even the little ampersand. It's really a cute set. I love it. It's not going anywhere. I'm keeping it. So if it's on last chance, I highly recommend you get it. It's super cute, even if you just want to do donuts and it's like Donuts Day, or, you're doing a class or whatever, and you want to do, donuts with mom, or, whatever kind of class. It's just really cute. So anyway, thank you so much for joining me. I will be back on Wednesday, and then I will not be here the following Sunday and Wednesday as I fly out on Sunday to backstage. Wednesday I will be at backstage, but then that following Sunday is one day before November Bingo. So please make sure you register for November Bingo. You will get your numbers in your receipt, I believe. I know it's a little bit of a different way. The forms that we're using and stuff is easier to register, but I want to make sure write down your numbers just in case. But I will give them to you on Wednesday before. Now, don't worry if you register towards the end, like right before bingo. You will not get your kits for bingo until after bingo, and I'll explain all that. Bingo night is to relax and enjoy and have fun and chat and watch me create the projects. That way, when you get the kits, you come back, they're time stamped. You just go straight to your cards and make them at your leisure, where you can pause and stop and all that good stuff. So that's how bingo kind of goes, but I'll explain it all on the night of bingo. All right, everybody, have a fantastic rest of your weekend, and I will see you on Wednesday night. Bye, everybody.